Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to episode 6 of the Oh You Did Not Know wrestling show with your co host in crime, John Fisher. And to my digital left, the ever so dropping, just like the ratings, he's shedding them like crazy due to the holiday season, Brad Shepard. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages.
Buenos tardes.
So we are doing the show one day late, and would you like to apologize to the people?
No, I would not like to apologize for wanting to sleep. So no, that'll be a no. Thank you.
Did you were you able to sleep last night? I was concerned.
I was, yeah. It was great.
And how many hours of sleep was that consecutively, with no interruption?
Probably legitimate 8 hours.
And when was the last time you got 8 hours of sleep in a row?
Oh, I can't remember. I generally get about 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night. So
Yes, yes. With two kids and an ever so uh, time consuming obsession with Baron Corbin, I'm up. I'm up at the wee hours of the night. And don't you forget it. I put on this facade, but do you remember the show Hey Arnold back when I was a kid in the mid '90s, late '90s?
I do. He had the yellow hair.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Football head.
Yeah.
So I imagine in your closet, you know how Helga had the shrine to Arnold.
I do.
Now it was made of gum, but gum's so '90s, and we're not in the '90s anymore. It's the 2010s. Do you have a shrine possibly made? Well, you're not a vegan, so I don't know. Do you think it's one of those like post compost like faux paper mache? 5'11" tall, because that's how tall Baron really is.
Oh,
5 foot, 5'11" tall. You know, like masquerade shrines of Baron Corbin in an old, failed football jersey, because he really never was really good at that at all. Kansas City Chiefs jersey, his practice squad game worn. I mean, I'm sorry, preseason dressed, because he didn't actually play. Preseason
that's not true. I mean, look, he got further than Brock Lesnar did in football, by the way.
Wait, are you sure about that? Because I'm fairly certain.
I am sure.
How do I doubt the master? I swore they were both practice squad, and that was it. And I'm not being funny anymore.
Brock Lesnar didn't even suit up for
practice
a game.
Squad.
Brock Lesnar was cut.
Did Baron suit up for a game? I'm being serious.
Yeah, absolutely he did. And Brock Lesnar was cut trying to make the practice squad. Like he was cut. He was a jobber in the football.
He was. I'm looking. He attended Northwest Missouri State University.
Mm-hmm.
A&T, A&M State, all MIAA in 2007. That's an accomplishment right there. He signed with the Indianapolis Colts on April 27, 2009. So weird. Brad's anniversary with his wife. Uncanny. And I'm just kidding.
Not true.
No, but the signing day is true. And then he went undrafted in the 2009 NFL Draft, released by the Colts on the 13th of August, and then re-signed 6 days later. And then he was released on September 5th. It's like, battle royale here. Or I'm sorry, it's a carousel of just up and down. And then he signed a futures contract, which is a very different kind of deal that you can sign as a football star. Player. And it's not very exclusive. It just, it gives you a chance, basically. And that was in January of 2010. And he was noted for throwing uppercuts in a team scuffle. He was then released by the Cardinals on the 3rd and signed to the team's practice squad on the 6th. And then he signed, and so you're incorrect. He never even made it he was where Brock Lesnar was. Practice squad.
That's not true.
I'm reading his statistics right now.
He got cut. He wasn't even on the team. He had the tryout.
Let me look.
He was not on the practice squad. He got cut.
Let me look. I have to look.
While you're looking, why don't we talk about Baron Corbin's real life fighting experience.
3 Golden Gloves.
3-time Golden Glove boxing champion, a judo grappling champion.
That's cool.
He played in the NFL. Are you kidding me? Name one other professional wrestler in the entire industry right now, not just WWE, that has done what this man has done. Name one.
So technically, no. So, I get to prove you wrong for a change. He signed with the Vikings on July 27th in 2004. And then he played in several preseason games and then was released on August 30th. So no,
he did not play in any games. Not Brock Lesnar.
Yes, I have it sourced right now.
I don't care. Where do you have it sourced? If it's on the internet, it must be true, by the way.
Yahoo Sports.
Okay, that's just not true.
Okay, so Brock Lesnar did play in preseason games. Corbin didn't. Brock sold out.
That's not true. You're actually wrong here, but it's okay.
No, I'm not.
Continue on.
If you just want to dispute evidence that Barra never suited up for a game and Brock's played in several, that's fine. But I equate fake little golden chimes that you can wear on your neck piece to a UFC title and selling out arenas all across the country and making millions of dollars.
He's selling out arenas all across the country?
He main evented.
Have you been watching lately?
Oh, I'm talking about the UFC.
He can't even sell out a house show.
I'm talking about the UFC, not the.
I know you're not talking about WWE.
Oh hell no! No.
Yeah.
No, he was a heavyweight champion in his third fight. Sold out several shows and had a reign of, I think, a year and a half. I think he held the title because he beat Frank Mir at UFC 100. To that point, the biggest UFC show of all time, and beat Shane Carwin in the third round because Carwin never made it out of the first round, and then subsequently got his ass beat by Cain Velasquez in his next fight, all while battling diverticulitis. And I don't like Brock Lesnar at all. I'm just citing facts, but I digress.
You're just a Baron Corbin hater. That's all.
I'm not a hater. I just look at the evidence, like the failing ratings. So as we get to,
we're gonna talk. No. You want to open Pandora's box, buddy? Then let's talk about. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that for sure.
So
we're gonna talk about the one guy who's consistently tanked the ratings since being in the main event. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. And his name surely isn't Aaron Bay Orban K. No, it's going to be something totally different. By the way, that was really hard to do.
What the hell are you doing?
Pig Latin.
Oh, gosh. What are you, 12?
Pig Latin's funny. Oh, hey. Breaking news. Las Vegas is hosting the 2020 NFL Draft. So we can all go to Vegas and gamble on who's going to be every pick.
Oh, gosh.
I wonder what event Vince McMahon's going to put on the day of the 2020 NFL Draft in Las Vegas.
Well, maybe he'll put Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor.
No, Baron's going to be long way retired by then. Dude, a quote-unquote forced retirement. I'm only kidding. That's not what I really want. What I really want. Did they come out with the SmackDown ratings yet?
They did.
So when? Because I saw them. I was looking earlier today because I was generally curious. The show wasn't that bad, but I wait to see what Raw's is the day after. Usually they're out like the next night.
Right.
So I'm glad they finally came out. That'll give us something to talk about. What was the date? So in other SmackDown news, do you happen to know what the WWE is doing for Christmas Eve and Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, because they fall on a Monday and a Tuesday this year?
No, I do not.
Okay, because I'm going to SmackDown thanks to my significant other who got us box seats or suite seats through work.
Oh,
I've only sat in a suite for one event. Well, for several different hockey games, but obviously completely different.
You said SmackDown.
Yeah, so it's on the 29th. It's a Saturday, but they're advertising it as SmackDown Live, not It's not like WWE Live. It's SmackDown Live. So do you think they're recording it on Saturday and letting them go home to their families the day after?
Not really.
Why don't you? That's what they did last year. Why don't? Because they weren't live last year.
They could be. I mean, honestly, they could be. I mean, the truth is, who really cares? It's the B show. It's what are you going to watch?
It's only the B show by let's see, 30,000 viewers.
That's not true. No.
I'm literally the last.
That's not true.
I'm literally looking at it. The last hour. The last hour.
I did say the last hour, right?
Well, no, that's
they're not comparable. One is a 2-hour and one is a 3-hour show.
No, we'll get to why it's not comparable. Something that you are not privy to a little bit later. Well, I think that's an interesting topic. Why shouldn't they be? Why should they have to work Christmas Eve and Christmas Day when? I mean, yeah, you're right. The show isn't very good right now, so who cares? People aren't there. It's Christmas Eve and Christmas night. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch Raw and SmackDown on either of those days, or New Year's Eve. New Year's Day, maybe, if I'm hungover, to be very honest. But I'm not going to go out, seek out Raw and SmackDown on holidays when it's supposed to be with your family.
Well, if you don't like your family, you can always, do a marathon of Baron Corbin matches.
They'd all be dead from boredom. I'm trying to look. So here's the schedule. So Raw is live from Sacramento next Monday, and the SmackDown team's in Fresno, and then the following week, the 28th, it's Monday Night Raw from Detroit. Or wait, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. How about that, pal? So I'm looking. There is not a scheduled show on Christmas Eve or Christmas night. Did we just break news? Is that a thing? Did we do that? I mean, it really isn't breaking news. We just looked up on their freaking website what's going on.
I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, I'm sure the talent would love to be off of their families, but many, many years ago, Christmas would be a good day for wrestling.
Well, like going to the show live, really?
Yeah. Same thing with Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving used to be a huge day for live wrestling events.
Really?
This is decades ago. Yeah, it's old news. But
what changed? The times? Is it that easy of a question? The times?
Yeah, it's not really that easy of a question, but the times, yeah, that's the short answer.
So it looks like they get a week off. So the SmackDown is on the 18th, obviously next Tuesday. After that, it appears that they will be doing a holiday tour. 26th, they're at MSG, which I'm still kind of shocked about. 26th, they go to that same day. It seems like they split cruise. They have Allstate Arena in Chicago that same night, same time. And then looks like the two crews go together. One is in Long Island, so they stay in New York, and then the other crew goes to Columbus, the Nationwide Arena. And then oh my gosh! So here it is. If we had a breaking news, wait, I have your breaking news sound.
Oh, jeez, don't waste it on this.
Why not?
Fine.
Oh, I'm sorry, because we're gonna sit back and let some punk who thinks that breaking the news about a janitor turned pro wrestler is real wrestling news, but I find out through the gift of a tickets and events schedule that Raw and SmackDown are taped the week of Christmas and Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. Excuse me.
Hey, did you know we're on 102 platforms now?
Oh, I was making fun of somebody else, but that's still funny.
No, I just wanted to point that out. We're on 102, which is one more than the next level of competition.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I thought that was great.
Wait, it's not. They are not on 101 platforms. There aren't even that many.
I think they're just making them up at this point.
Well, okay. So sidebar. The WWE is, as you heard, is promoting the year anniversary of the first ever women's match in the Middle East between Sasha Banks and was it Bayley or Alicia Fox or whoever? It doesn't matter because it wasn't the first one. Do you think that said company, they're not even a company, said organized group, I'll call them a group, or how about like a gaggle of geese? Are they just a gaggle of morons. Do you think they're doing the Vince McMahon method? Because I hate to break it to you all, but WrestleMania 3 didn't have over 100,000 people.
Wow.
Are they doing the WrestleMania attendance method? Lie. A lot.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't the first, but who cares? I mean, think about this. It's not something to get like that upset about. It's WWE. They're not going to include history from other companies. They're their own universe, and they're the show in the industry. Everybody else is a small fry, so they're not going to include TNA or et cetera, et cetera. I wouldn't expect them to. So that's it is what it is. You kind of understand when they say these type of things that it's kind of bullshit.
It certainly is.
It's entertainment. It's an entertainment part of the show. It's not real.
It is. That's true. However, as it turns out, I was just looking at the thread that Dave Meltzer started, and apparently that wasn't even the first wrestling match between women by the WWE ever.
Mm-hmm.
So, to your point, you're obviously right, but why, it's their own history. Why do they have to ignore that, for a nice tweet and to get a few likes?
Because the momentum and the tide in society is with the women's movement. And so now is when it's convenient to do that, right? That's what it's about. Nobody cares if they did it, 30 million years ago, because there was no movement in society for women.
No.
Now there is. Now it's convenient for them to do it. And that's what you have to understand. That's the motive.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it is. So anyway, as I was trying to get out the breaking news banner, how have people not figured this out? Idiots. I didn't get to listen to that in full yet. It's so obnoxious.
It is. I'm rolling out the red carpet for myself. I told you.
All right. So as it were, Monday Night Raw for New Year's Eve is going to be recorded on Friday, December 28th, emanating from the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. As for SmackDown, yours truly, me, will be at the recording of SmackDown for New Year's Day in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on Saturday, December 29th at 7:30 p.m. That'll be fun. It's going to be weird for the people. Are they really? John Cena's going to be there.
Oh, boy.
I think that might be breaking news.
Wow.
He's advertised, according to their website, of course, subject to change. He's advertised for the show. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, John Cena, The Miz, Charlotte. I'm going to keep going. Rey Mysterio, The Man, Randy Orton, and The New Day are all being advertised for the show.
Okay.
Yeah. And now, just because I did it for SmackDown, I'm not going to be rude. I'm going to do it for Raw as well. And let's see who's going to be in town. Ronda Rousey, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, some guy in a suit, Finn Balor, I'll let you figure out which one's Baron Corbin. Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. That is all who have been announced so far. Via the website, which again, anything could change, but that's who's being advertised at this time.
Wow, that sounds spectacular.
It sounds the same, you mean?
Yeah, I've kind of spectacular. Just like Raw every week. Speaking of Raw, are we going to talk about Raw? I guess we kind of. Well, we have Raw, we have SmackDown, we have the preview of the big TLC show with more matches than I have phalanges.
Hey, that's a Friends reference. Would you call it overrated?
Oh, well, I definitely didn't get it from Friends.
Oh, well, color me insane. Didn't we have the TLC pay-per-view on Monday?
We kind of had a preview of
there was
really
a TLC
good match. A main event level quality match.
It was okay. Let's not.
The future of the company.
Yeah.
And a guy who's got a consistent history of providing low ratings for WWE.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Why did Braun Strowman get his head shaved? I got to get off Twitter.
We're supposed to be doing a podcast here. How professional is this?
I'm a journalist. Everything's exclusive, and we're on 800 platforms.
We are. Everything is exclusive. That's true. Everything's exclusive. We're on 102 platforms, and we fire it up 2 to 4 times a day. Just ask me anything. I'd be glad to answer your question.
Is CM Punk coming back to WWE? You literally told me to ask you anything.
Oh, AJ Lee was in negotiations to return to the Evolution pay-per-view.
No, she wasn't.
No, you're right. No, she wasn't at all. I don't know. I would say I'm shaking up the magic 8-ball. Now, all signs point to no. Okay.
Well, I am surprised. I really thought that happened, or that and that Punk was going to come back.
Well, Dave Meltzer did say one day, what was it, a couple of years ago, he was backstage.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Backstage at Raw.
Cool. Maybe he was trying to collect a paycheck that he was owed. There's a lot of reasons why he could have been backstage if that were true.
You could read all about it on his website for $10.99 a month, I'm sure.
Yeah. Screw getting things for free. America sucks. Sorry. I know the one thing that I really found interesting about Raw, SmackDown I really had no complaints. Raw, though, I had a few. And thing one being that Vince, because this was all him, despite what any of you think, Vince made Baron Corbin his surrogate for how bad the ratings were.
Hey, Baron Corbin got great heat in this segment.
Oh, but you said crowd reaction doesn't mean anything.
Well, I'm just telling you, in the context of the live presentation, and we've seen this repeatedly, he gets some of the biggest reactions of everybody on the roster.
So did X-Pac, though. I mean,
no, not really. Not really, though. No,
there's a reason they call it X-Pac heat. It's because they just didn't like him. He was really bad.
Look, it's all fake. Heat is heat.
It is all fake. That I can agree with you on. But why? So here's the problem. And I was talking with Dean at work today, and he kind of put it in perspective for me. It's as if they weren't trying to dig the hole any deeper.
I'm really sorry to interrupt. I just want to know.
Yeah.
And you don't have to answer this because
I will.
Employee confidentiality.
That's between a psychiatrist, but keep going.
but I'm wondering if you had this conversation when he called you into his office.
He doesn't have an office.
Okay. All right.
He has a desk, and I have a bigger desk. That's true.
Have you guys ever, compared desks?
Oh, only the times when you got out that cardboard cutout of Baron Corbin and did the same thing. What Dean said that made a good point is that instead of digging the hole deeper, they're going to rationalize the hole and blame someone for it. And because it's a TV show and it means nothing, they were able to do that. The promo itself was delivered quite well. And Baron took it like a champion. And he says, well, I don't care. Even though if we're looking at this literally, he's not booking segments. And
of course not.
And Seth is like, oh, what more? Urination segments? Oh, very funny. Explain that logic. Why suck in the first place?
Well, the funny thing is Seth Rollins gives that promo speech about how the show sucks, right? And then he turns around on Twitter and says, well, guys, it's really hard to write a TV show. I don't think any of you understand.
Wait, I thought that was Jimmy Jacobs, not Seth Rollins.
No, Seth Rollins chimed into that debate, adding that feedback.
Do you want to
direct opposition to what his character said on Monday Night Raw?
Give background on that. So what's the Jimmy Jacobs thing that everyone's been talking about?
Well, the Jimmy Jacobs thing, it came about after the talk of really, really low ratings.
Record lows consecutively.
Record lows, yeah. I mean, the show is very bad. Brian Alvarez made a comment that the ratings were embarrassing. Jimmy Jacobs, who was a writer for WWE Creative, and he's an indie wrestler as well, he responded on Twitter saying, writing a 3-hour wrestling TV show every single week is fucking hard. And, my response to that is, no, it's not fair that we get paid great money to write a 3-hour weekly TV show because it's hard. Cry me a river. Are you kidding me? What do you think Hollywood does? I mean, these guys get paid great money. They only have to write one TV show a week, and it's their full-time job. And with the formulas they're using, I can't think that it's taking that long to come up with this shit. So let's be honest. So Seth Rollins responds, that's the one thing I don't think people understand. 5 hours of live TV every week. Every week. Add in all the extraneous variables that affect the final outcome. And it's a modern miracle that the shows come together as well as they do.
May I chime in on that?
Yeah.
So I've worked in television now for, let's see, I'm 25, for 5 years. 7 years if you include my college career. We as a team, and there's probably a team of like 40 to 50. So this is obviously a smaller scale comparison. We put on 3, 4, 5.5, 7.5, 7 hours of television on average every single day of news. Whether it's news, sports, weather, that's what we do every single day.
Right.
With a team, like I said, it takes a whole team to do it. 40 to 50 people out in the field, inside, in the studio, writing it, making graphics for it, editing videos. It all 7.5 hours a day. That's about, times that by 7. And you're looking like 49 to 50 hours a week that we are creating. And they're bitching about 3 hours a night. Give me a break. And the point that I'm trying to make is, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. They have a team of hundreds, and they're complaining about 3 hours a night and 2 hours on the next night. That is absurd and asinine and lazy. And there is simply no excuse. Just because the stubborn ass owner and head writer of everything decides to change it that day. That is hard. But that's ridiculous. That's an excuse from a crybaby, is what it is.
Absolutely it is. There's no excuse for it. It's pathetic. All jobs are hard. Whether they're hard or easy, you have to do them and do them well. I don't understand the excuse at all. Like you said, in the TV business, they certainly have to do, in many cases, a lot more than WWE does. So I just don't understand it. And I just thought it came off, really ridiculous to the audience. There's no defending that. And look, the writing team in a lot of ways is terrible. And a lot of Vince McMahon's decisions are terrible. It's a combination of both.
He is the writing team. He approves everything.
Right.
And he will go, and if you have a great idea to have Dean Ambrose's heel turn into something out of The Shining, or anything like eerie, scary, creepy, something that will captivate people, but if one 70-year-old psychopath doesn't get it, it doesn't matter what that idea was, because he will make the idea what he wants it to be.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a combination of both. Ultimately, a majority of the blame lies on Vince McMahon. He has the final say. It's the way it works when you're in charge.
And the beauty of it all is that it's a scripted television show to where if you suck, it could take 10 minutes to flip the switch and make it great. But you take what happened to ESPN from like a 2-year stretch where it was just political views aside, a political driven entertainment piece of garbage. Now it took them a year and a half to really reinvent themselves to what they used to be, and now it's good again. They can do that in a night. It takes a real television show years to change itself.
Yeah, I mean, if they were putting on compelling stories, just real strong episodic TV with stories you may see on primetime TV on the major networks, right? If they had that kind of a detail and storytelling, I could understand it taking more time, but they don't. A lot of their stuff is very basic, very cookie cutter, and very focused around a match. So it's about as easy as it can get, to be honest.
It's okay if it's centered around a match, but that's the beauty of it, is to build to that moment every single week. And with and no matter how you feel about each, not you specifically, but no matter how you feel about the performer that you're watching, there's a way to make it interesting. You just have to be able to write it that way. It's like it's like trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. You can do that. You can. It's possible. I'm not gonna joke about Baron Corbin, because I actually think he's doing a fine job at being hated. It's easy for him. It's easy for some wrestlers, and sometimes that's not a bad thing. But take a look at some of the stuff you've seen in the last 20 years, especially during the Attitude Era. Most of that wrestling was horrifying. It was terrible. But the story is what brought you in, and it kept you, no matter how bad the match was. That wasn't the point. The point was everything around it.
Yeah, we don't. Obviously, we don't have that. It's all about 5-star fake fights, that type of stuff, and
there's room for that.
That's great for a certain niche audience, and for everybody else, for your casual audience to go mainstream, that's just not what they want to see. They don't really care about that so much. And so I think WWE is making a big mistake in focusing too much on that hardcore niche audience and just leaving the casual audience aside, not trying to reel them in. I think that'll be a big problem on Fox if they can't do that. But, even some of the hardcore fans, they've got different options now. They like indie wrestling. They like ROH. They like New Japan, so they don't watch WWE as much in some cases. So just why not go with the casual audience? Leave the hardcore fans who are going to stick around to watch anyway, whether they bitch about it online or not. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. You want to grow your TV audience. Look, the business model is great so far. They're making a lot of money, but the TV product itself is just, terrible. So why not try and expand that audience and take the financial benefit from it?
The last time you talked about them being good financially, they are. They really are.
Right.
And even I'm looking Yahoo Finance right now. An article 20 hours ago, is WWE a good stock to buy? Of course they are, especially right before their Fox deal. Unless they blow it, and then you sell hard. At the end of the day today, they close it at 4:02 p.m. Eastern Time. They close it with a $73.95 share. Not bad, right?
No.
They opened at 76.6. They lost a few bucks. Ain't a big deal. Their market cap's at $5.7 billion. Not too shabby. Their last year. Let me look here. For a 6 month, they're up. It's like a nice big hill kind of. It's going back to June up to September. They went up like $20 a share, and they went down. They really hit a low point in late November, down to 61. Funny, right around the Saudi Arabia. Anyway, and then they're back up to 73 and 73.9. So it kind of goes with the times. But no, they got money. Vince just sold a lot of stock to fund his football league. They got money. Not a problem.
Yeah. So, what did you think about Seth Rollins' entrance music?
It gets the fans engaged with the little burn it down thing.
Well, they didn't just do the burn it down once. They kept repeating it over and over and over. It also seemed a little bit mistimed, too. So it was kind of odd. I didn't like it at all. I actually thought it was terrible.
What? The burn it down?
Yeah.
The fans yell? What about it?
No, they kept repeating it. This wasn't just the one time when he enters, but they changed up the version of his song to have it continue to say "Burn It Down."
When
you missed it.
I did.
Yeah, it was terrible.
This week.
Yes. So you were so bored by Seth Rollins that you fell asleep during his entrance?
No. I usually don't watch the entrances really at all, unless I like their entrance music. I watch on like the it's like I have Comcast, so like I can watch the show, like I DVR it and I can just watch it on my iPad whenever I want. So I do it that way. I usually just skip past the entrances unless I enjoy the music. I didn't. So I'm gonna try to find it. How does it go? You don't have to. I'm not asking you to sing it. Don't worry. I'm not putting.
Burn it down. Burn it down. Burn it down.
Wait, shut up. Are you kidding me?
No, it doesn't exactly go like that. Okay. But you get the idea. It's annoying.
Why would they do that? His entrance was fine. Why would they?
Sorry, pal.
Why would they do it?
I don't know. It was just so dumb. But
wait, hold on. Oh. I got it. I got it on Hulu. That's too loud. Tell me. Okay. I'm listening.
Wait for it.
Oh my god! What is that?
It's terrible. I told you.
What is? They take a good thing and they just
fuck it up. So,
why would they do that? It was fine the way it was. Kind of unpopular opinion alert coming through. Kind of like the Mixed Match Challenge. I thought that was a fun escape from like the serious BS that was Raw and SmackDown last year when it was like first starting. And now it just totally jumped the shark with me. It really has. It's not funny anymore. It's not original. It was. Did you hate it last year? I thought it was just something different, and I enjoyed it.
I didn't love it by any stretch of the imagination, but it's lost a lot of momentum this year, even
due to everyone being hurt, maybe, and there having to be a replacement for each one.
Well, yeah, Finn Balor is he's got an illness.
But he's wrestling Sunday.
Yeah. Well, how long do you think he's going to be sick for? What do you think he has?
Like the flu, maybe a fever. I don't know.
So, one of the things I noticed on Raw, and we have to talk about this, and I don't know if you saw this. If you were watching,
are you trolling?
Well, stay tuned to find out. It's Apollo Crews.
I know what you're
picking
talking
up
about.
Sasha Banks, the boss.
Yeah, she wasn't the boss there. do you think he yelled it in his head? He's yelling, "It's boss time."
He picked her up like a bowling ball and threw a strike into Jinder and the Singh brothers.
Yeah,
but how unrealistic was that? All three of them fell down with Sasha falling onto them. All of her 120 pounds was too much for three of them to catch.
That's not what I was talking about. You don't know?
Oh no, I know. I'm in fact, not only do I know, but I'm going to share with you some comments from the WWE universe after they tweeted a picture, an actual video of Apollo Crews picking up Sasha Banks. And you can go to my Twitter feed and see the screenshots where he is fully in the bowling ball. I'm going to read the first tweets that respond to this wonderful tweet from the WWE universe. Lucky ass Apollo. Lucky guy. In catering for weeks only to get this segment. Worth it. Apollo, I see you. Don't break her, damn it. She hasn't touched my pee-pee yet. I wonder what Michelle thinks about a scene like this. Whatever she wanted that man, hand between her.
Oh my gosh.
A picture of a guy sniffing his fingers.
Ew. All right, that's the last one.
This man put his hand right in between Sasha's banks. Apollo is one lucky guy. Haha, I see you, man.
You use the bowling ball. You use the bowling ball metaphor.
Yeah.
You know, Apollo bowls, right?
Mm-hmm.
He bowls fingertip.
Oh, oh my God.
I'm simply I bowl with I use my fingertips as well to bowl.
Oh no. Oh, geez.
I'm not. Euphemism is over. I was being serious. No, that did strike me as odd, especially how we all know how Vince hates intergender wrestling.
Yeah, I mean that was quite interesting.
It was just different. I didn't like it.
I hope he bought her dinner and asked permission.
I wonder what her. This is gonna sound bad. I wonder what her seamstress husband thought, because isn't that what he is? Isn't he a seamstress?
Seriously, that was one of the things I actually thought is. It's like, man, he's got to be watching this and be a little uncomfortable for sure.
Well, I think Apollo Crews is married though. Apollo Crews married? Question mark?
I mean, I don't.
Yeah, he's married.
It's.
I'm just saying, he has a kid.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna say, well, so is Xavier Woods. That's true. Oh, that's not even being mean. I'm a journalist. I state facts. All right.
That one's a little iffy.
It is. I mean, like, what did you? The rest of the show.
I mean, could he not have gripped her a different way?
Like how Big Show does it to guys?
Yeah.
Well, because he doesn't try to do it provocatively. That obviously wasn't on purpose. But it was still very weird. And I didn't have to see the screenshot on Twitter. I saw it like as the show was going in action. It was very weird.
I mean, I actually think I heard, if you listen closely, I think you can hear Apollo do a Braun Strowman imitation right as he's picking her up and say, "You're going to get these hands."
We are moving on to something else. I can't even think. Let's open Pandora's box. SmackDown was what it was, and it had some decent moments. I enjoy the camaraderie between the Miz and Shane. I think they're very good together. Miz is an amazing.
Oh God!
You don't like that? I think they have really good chemistry.
I don't understand why Shane McMahon, after literally years of training, has not learned how to throw a punch. And I just I look at the clips of these matches on Twitter with Shane McMahon. I watch the show and I see him throw these punches. And all I want to do, honest to God, is watch a marathon of Shane McMahon segments where he's throwing punches and wildly misses while I'm listening to the Three Stooges theme music. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do with my life.
I miss the Three Stooges.
I mean, it's like a cartoon or something. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He's throwing punches. They're missing by 5 feet.
Rabbit punches.
Oh my God, it's so bad. It reminds me of, I criticized his punches, I think in 2016 when he had the Undertaker match.
Yeah.
And I criticized him then, and Tommy Dreamer sent me a direct message about that. I don't think he was too happy. He trained Shane for that match with the Undertaker, so that could be why. But
sorry.
Yeah, sorry. But you know what? My opinion is my opinion, like it or not. It's not going to change. So, his punches, they're the worst in professional wrestling. Make no mistake about it. I've never seen someone who's worse at punching than Shane McMahon.
Nia Jax.
No, not Nia Jax, actually. I think she's better than Shane. It's kind of the opposite. Like, she connects for real. And Shane misses by a mile. Maybe there's a happy medium in there. I don't know.
Before we get to our hot conversation, what did you think of Mustafa Ali? I don't know why I'm asking. Mustafa Ali and Daniel Bryan.
Who cares?
Yeah, I figured you'd
say. I mean, seriously, why should I care? Okay, here you have a guy from 205 Live that almost nobody watches. He appears on SmackDown Live with no introduction as to the background of him, his character, why he's nothing. You have a guy randomly showing up at the start of a show, and there's no meaning behind it. It's a non-title match. They give you no reason to care. He simply cuts off a Daniel Bryan promo, and it leads to a match like we see every single week.
Now, are you saying that there could have been a lot of potential for that? I know you're not a fan of the cruiserweights that much.
Well, I mean, how long do you think it took the poor creative team to write that segment? 5 minutes?
You tweeted that, yes.
I mean, seriously. Was that hard? It's fine. It was a match. It was fine. There's nothing behind it, though. That's not going to translate to a casual audience.
No, what about Charlotte?
They're playing to the hardcore fans again.
What about Charlotte and Asuka? They're what turned into an Extreme Rules match.
It's whatever. It's fine. It's not as bad as the Daniel Bryan and Mustafa Ali, but it's not great either. It's whatever. They don't take the time to build anybody or have any stories. It's like, here's a guy showing up that, wink, wink, the hardcore fans may know if they watch NXT or they've been a fan of the Indies in the Chicago area.
Yeah.
And, he shows up and puts on a good match. And by the way, he's on 205 and Daniel is not on 205. So it's two different weight classes. They randomly have a match. It's non-title, so there's no stakes. It means nothing. Is the guy going to be on the show from now on, or is this a one-time deal? No explanation, no nothing. Nobody should care. Seriously, why should I care?
They didn't really do a good job of that, and that's just the biggest problem. And it seems like we're talking about that for both programs, which brings us to the main event, if you will, of the podcast, where we've been talking about ratings a lot, and despite what's been being put on the show, ratings for Raw have continued to plummet. In their own standard, they've had 2 straight weeks of lowest ratings ever. So this week's was lower than last week. While SmackDown has remained steady, even though they are not as high as Raw's.
They just had the week before last, like the second lowest rating ever.
They actually went up this week
by 1%. By 1%, but it was low the last week.
They went up.
That's like someone, jacking up a price on something, then lowering the price by $1 and saying they've got a big sale going on. Well, yeah, you jacked up the price first. Of course, yeah, it's a big sale, but not really.
Well,
so here you have the ratings plummet. No. The ratings plummet, but the next week it goes up by 1%. Ooh, it's like, that's fantastic. Not really. It still sucks.
Well, only one of their shows improved. Sorry, 1% is 1%. They improved. That 1% is exactly.
That means nothing in TV. A 1%, one-time 1% improvement means nothing in TV.
Unless you're battling someone in competition, then yeah, it does. But they're not. That isn't the case here. However, I digress to what was missing last week again, that damn ironclad contract. I'm never get around that. Damn lawyers. So the ratings talk has been really interesting. I brought in a professional, in which you can't even make fun of because it's actually true. A professional to discuss ratings. Here he is.
Brad. I'd love to drop an elbow on you for saying that. I can't even bring myself to say it. For you saying that Baron Corbin has surpassed Seth Rollins on the mic. Are you high? I could drop an elbow for you praising the main event on Raw when it was in fact Seth Rollins that carried it and not your boy Baron. I had to just drop an elbow on your notion of ratings. You seem to think that with ratings in the tank for Raw, lowest ever, that because SmackDown's ratings were low last week, or that because even at Raw's low, they are better ratings than SmackDown, that Raw is a better show, because your boy Baron is on it, of course, that's why you think that. Then you've also diminished Becky Lynch. You couldn't be more wrong, okay? For 25 years, I have lived and died by television ratings every single day of my life. That's my job. And I know it, and I know it well. You are wrong. You cannot compare Monday night to Tuesday night and sit here and try to say that whichever one has the higher ratings is better. It doesn't work that way. We don't sit there and watch our 11 o'clock news on Monday night and our 11 o'clock news on Tuesday night, and the one that gets the higher ratings was the better show. That's not how it works. It's apples and oranges, even though it's the same type of product. The only way that you could get a genuine comparison of ratings between Raw and SmackDown for what the viewers like better is for them to directly go head-to-head on the same night at the same time. That's the only way that you would truly know. Viewing habits are different on different nights. The trends of viewership are different on different nights. What was happening on the night that SmackDown went down? Their trend has been in the 2.2 million range, and they dropped to 1.8 million. But what happened? What was on TV that night? What else was going on? What were the quarterly ratings? What was the highest rated quarter hour? Was it Becky or was it something else? And that's something I don't know. But let me tell you this. The fact remains that the trends are that Raw is down, it's going down, it continues to go down. SmackDown's trend has been steady. And that's what they want. They want steady or to go up. And boy, let me tell you, if you don't think ratings matter, wait till Fox gets a hold of this product. They want numbers. Those numbers matter. And something else that matters and helps you build those ratings, and you're high for not thinking this, is a pop. The pops that Becky Lynch is getting, and none other than Eric Bischoff himself just talked about this on his podcast, how important a pop is for a superstar. Because what that does, this is according to Eric Bischoff, a guy who might know something about promoting wrestling, is it generates the excitement. The excitement is generated in the arena. And so then the viewer at home sees that. And they think, wow, this is something, okay, I got to pay attention now because the crowd's paying attention. The crowd's into this. Let me pay more attention to this. And that's just how typical viewership, not our viewership, not me and you, typical viewership, the casual fan, that's how it goes. And that feeds, and that builds, and it builds stars. You're not hearing that on Raw. You're not hearing that with Baron Corbin out there. You're hearing it with Becky Lynch. And you're hearing it build on SmackDown with some of the angles that they have. And it's a better written show. That show is better than Raw. It's not Baron Corbin's fault, by the way. He's been given crap. He's been given a crap storyline. And the problem is he's really not effective enough to execute it all on his own. Okay, he's not a strong enough character to do that. But the fact remains, the ratings are apples and oranges. You cannot directly compare Raw and SmackDown and get an accurate representation of which show is better or which show is more liked. I think the access sales for Becky Lynch, 90 seconds, that can tell you something. Does Baron have an access? Is it sold out yet? The elbow's been dropped.
Well, I hope he wore an elbow pad because that was the weakest elbow drop I have ever heard. When he's out of mark mode, you let me know so I can calmly explain to him why he's wrong. First of all, what did we say on Twitter about this? Oh, as you guys were drooling over your tweets, Becky is so over. Becky is the man. Becky is a star. You know what Becky is? Becky is bad ratings. That's the reality. She is the star of SmackDown Live. And SmackDown Live, the ratings are not very good. Okay. Viewership is different on different nights. Oh, well, yeah, you've got Tuesday Night Football. Oh, no, that's right. That's on Monday night. Yeah. Well, newsflash, let me just tell you. It's the same WWE audience watching both shows. That is primarily true. So to say it's a different audience, that is absurd. This is not a different genre. This is a primarily a similar audience watching the same shows. Only they watch less of SmackDown. Now, you say SmackDown Live is a better show. It's better written. I say the audience disagrees with you clearly. So, SmackDown Live has had a steady trend of ratings going up, or Raw hasn't. Only that's not true. It was just last week. They had the second worst ratings ever. So that is wrong, Dino. It went up 1% this past week. 1%. And it's still, by the way, lower than Raw. And to sit there and say, they're building stars on SmackDown and not on Raw. Wrong. You know what a star is? A star is Hulk Hogan. A star is The Rock. A star is Stone Cold. A star is not Becky Lynch. Let me know when they hit the mainstream and they're actually culturally relevant to society. That's a star. Becky Lynch is not a star. Let's be honest here. And access sales? You do realize that's a small part of a small audience. This is a big event. WrestleMania, right? WrestleMania. How many fans are going to be there? 70,000? And a small line of people sold out for Becky Lynch? Congratulations. What would you expect? The elbow has just been dropped on you.
I'm only going to comment on one thing, is that I will defend you slightly. You didn't say that Raw or SmackDown were really better. You kind of said they both were bad.
Yeah, I think they're both bad shows. I do, absolutely.
You did talk about star power, or being a star. And, I love Becky, and I always admit it. She's my favorite female, wrestler that they have.
Well, obviously, Dean loves her too. Let's be honest, right?
Actually, his favorite's Alexa Bliss. She's
okay, but he loves Becky Lynch.
Yeah. Well, I will say that the last time outside of Cena or Roman that did get mainstream appeal was Becky Lynch, unfortunately. And it was after the Nia Jax punch. She's obviously been talking a big game on Twitter. And Conor McGregor reached out to her and said, I'm in your corner. And that actually got on ESPN's programming. So to say, and again, mainstream star, you listed a few. No one right now is on that's on the show right now on either one. Daniel Bryan's close to it, but his star kind of faded after he retired. Becky's really the only one that has gotten national attention in some facet.
ESPN covers WWE. What are you talking about?
They
cover it all. It means nothing.
Okay, so now that's idiotic. You're saying that Conor McGregor, the biggest fighting star actually maybe the biggest athlete in the world, tweeting out support about that doesn't mean something.
Tweeting out support means nothing, man. Come on.
You're missing the very obvious point.
How much did Steve Austin do in merchandise sales for his T-shirt?
Oh, for fuck's sake, probably
millions. Right. Well, I've got a little second elbow drop for you in our news segment. Just keep that in mind. I'm going to lay that down for you. There's the foundation. Keep that in mind. That's all I'm saying. And look, I want WWE to be a better written show, Raw and SmackDown, and I want everybody to be popular and superstars because, then it's more enjoyable for me as a viewer. Period. So I want it all to be great, but I have to be honest with how I feel.
Yeah, that's all we can really do. That's all we can really do.
How about we go over TLC, big show, and then let's roll out the red carpet after that and cut to my breaking news.
I mean, I really have nothing to really talk about in TLC. I'm excited for the Dean and Seth match, and then the AJ and Daniel match, and then the triple threat women's match for the title. That's really it. I really,
wow.
The triple threat tag might be interesting, but no, it really hasn't grabbed me. Not really that much.
You're not excited for Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman?
No, not really. It doesn't really bother. I really could care less. It isn't because of Corbin. I don't like Strowman. I kind of find him unappealing.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of momentum, which you really blame WWE, but at the same time, too, they've had a character that's really protected his work. He's never been a great, worker. He's not like a great promo. He's not really good in the ring. He's just a really big guy with unique entrance music that's been booked really strong overall.
Yeah, no, it's meh. It's just meh. I really don't care. I really don't care. But any matches you're looking forward to TLC? Any?
Rollins and Ambrose could be okay. I think, they always have a good match. Nia Jax, Ronda Rousey, if only to see what the finish is. I am interested in Strowman and Corbin as well. Again, really primarily to see the finish. If they booked Corbin stronger in a heel role, it would be an interesting match. But they don't. Unfortunately, they book him like a chicken shit heel. So, the match probably won't be what I'm looking for. But, the finish, I guess, will be interesting to that. So there's that. I'm trying to think. Is there really anything else? It's tough to think because there's 12 matches.
Oh my god!
12 matches
in 4 hours.
A lot. Yeah, like how the hell?
But before your breaking news, did you like the rap battle? Okay,
that was terrible. It was so
I'm guilty.
Bad.
I'm guilty. I thought it was hilarious.
I don't know how you thought that was funny, unless you thought it was like so bad that it was kind of good. Was that it? Or did you really like
Sheamus and Cesaro was Vanilla Ice? Yeah, I really did. I thought it was so bad it was great. But the Usos once again proved how very, very talented they are on the mic. They were exceptional.
Well, yeah, they're the best tag team of this generation. I've said it over and over. I thought it was a terrible segment. It's something they've done before with Usos and New Day. I thought the whole, ice shamey.
That was great.
That was really, really bad.
And then when Cesaro said "word to your mother,"
so bad. God.
Just because,
how long do you think it took them to write that shit?
Half an hour. Oh, what? Like the material, or the concept? The Usos was all ad lib.
Oh my God! What a terrible show. It's just not good. It's just not a good show. It's not a good TV show. Look, it's not supposed to be a wrestling show. This is not a live event. It's TV. It's a TV show centered around wrestling. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
And they're missing the boat on that for sure.
So talking about a TV show very quickly, what do you think of the Boston Red Sox? Not wrestling related, by the way. What do you think of the Boston Red Sox? Their WEEI radio show getting rid of their so they're getting rid of their game broadcast, turning into a talk show more than an actual baseball game commentary. What do you think?
I think that when you look at the way you look at what's successful today in sports radio and sports, just in general, you look at Undisputed, you look at First Take, those type of shows. That format is what's successful, and that's what the people are looking for. I think in sports more than anything, it's the drama. It's the debate, those type of things. And, you know, so I think it makes sense from a business standpoint.
You talked about a TV show.
I like it.
A wrestling show. I had to bring that up. All right, here we go.
Hit my music.
I just imagined you at the news desk, like writing something down, looking up and turning at the camera and smiling.
I'm doing that right now.
Like it's a promo. Yeah. Wait. How should I say? Live from 28 countries. I don't know.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Now it's time for Backstage News with Brad Shepard.
Yeah.
Get my music.
I just did. All right. Hold on. Fine. Here it is. Here it is again.
Now for breaking news with Brad Shepard. Oh, that is music to my ears. Okay.
Yeah.
Woo! I'm ready. We're live. 5, 4, 3, 2.
That's not 1. how it works.
Whatever.
That's not how it
works. So I talked to a source in WWE this week, and we had a conversation about Big Cass, who recently had the seizure at House of Hardcore event.
Yeah. Which
is Tommy Dreamer's promotion. Really bad situation. There was video of it. It was, you know.
Did you watch the video? Because I didn't. I don't want to.
I didn't watch the video. I saw a picture. And I've seen people in real life have seizures. So I know what it looks like, but, you know, it's a sad thing to see. I talked to the source, and they said Big Cass is a mess. And just kind of talked about how he had such a star in Carmella. He was really over with Enzo as a tag team, whether you like them or not. Young, tall, had the full package that Vince McMahon would like. But it's amazing how fast he fell. And from what I was told, for what it's worth, there were people at the office in WWE who were sour on him and Enzo far before all of this stuff happened, especially Enzo, due to his attitude, obviously. So a very, very sad situation. I think Big Cass was set to go into some sort of a yoga-like program or do something even possibly with DDP.
Enzo.
But Cass.
Oh, Cass.
Yeah, man, he just looks like he's completely out of shape. I don't know if you've seen him recently, but he's been appearing at these events, and you know he looks like he stopped trying.
He probably did.
Yeah. So definitely sad, and from what we understand, he is okay. So that's great news too.
Is anything else?
Oh yeah. Now I'm wondering, should you play my breaking news piece in between? No. Okay.
No,
because that really is a beautiful introduction.
Okay. I'm the producer and editor. I have the power. It will not.
Okay, so
no urination segments.
I was talking to a source in WWE this week, and they were talking about how they'll do anything to sell tickets right now because tickets are a struggle to sell right now. And that's something that we have kind of seen on TV with Raw and SmackDown. We see a lot of empty seats. You see a lot of tweets with pictures. But I'm told all across the board that tickets are a struggle to sell right now.
How bad is it?
It's bad.
I will say, okay, because I broke the news, which shouldn't have ever been broken, about how they're recording SmackDown for New Year's day on the 29th, I will show all of you the attendance.
That'll be interesting for sure.
Because I'll be in the suite. I'll have a really good vantage point.
Yeah. So we know that Alexa Bliss has an illness, and also she hasn't been doing house shows as well, which isn't a good sign. So, that'll be something to watch for.
We hope she's okay.
Well, she had the concussion trauma where she was forgetting stuff, etc. And now she has an illness, just like, Finn Balor has an illness. But, once she's over that, it'll be interesting to watch because I'm told she's still not, doing house shows. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. As far as Jason Jordan, he's listed as TBD, to be determined, on the roster sheet with his name next to it. So that's obviously a bad sign when it comes to a potential return to the ring for Jason Jordan.
What was his initial diagnosis? Well, he got surgery on his spine?
Neck.
Neck? That's right.
Yeah.
His neck.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a shame, too. I mean, actually, people may forget, but he was doing a really nice job as a heel right before he went out with an injury.
How long has he been out for? Been a year already?
Oh, yeah. It's got to be. It's been a long time. His wife initially said, this is going to be really short. He should appear at WrestleMania. And so it's definitely been almost a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't mind him. I really didn't.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I hope he's okay soon. I'd like to see him back. Better than most of the stuff they're putting out.
Yeah, I agree. So there was a recent tweet by Cody Rhodes, or an indication that he received a WWE offer within the past few weeks. And the initial report from Dave Meltzer many weeks ago was that WWE was going to offer essentially top guy big money to Cody Rhodes to try and get him signed.
Well,
so I was told Cody's hyping himself regarding the WWE offer, and Meltzer is either doing him a favor by boosting it or is being given bad information. Nobody is offering Rhodes millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars. He's not going to turn down that kind of money. Let's be honest. Let's just be real.
No.
But, the report from Dave was that's the kind of money that they would be offering. And that's not true.
Huh.
I had a conversation about the XFL this week. And from a source in WWE, they don't believe that people will buy XFL tickets, except maybe if they go really cheap with them. And I thought that was interesting because, again, we talked about the strategy, the business strategy of the XFL, which was essentially to go into these large stadiums, right? Yeah, I think it was 6 out of the 8 are in 30K plus stadiums, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple that are like, a soccer stadium in DC, it's 20K. But you're going to MetLife, which is enormous. That's where they have WrestleMania. You're going to all these big stadiums, where the Seahawks play, and on and on and on. So you're going into these huge arenas that hold 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 plus thousand people. For the XFL?
Yeah.
I just don't see the momentum there. And I think, it's going to look really bad on TV to see all of the empty seats. So, I would tend to agree. I think that was actually a really dumb move. They should have definitely gone for more of like the MLS soccer stadium, the 20K seat arenas, in all instances if they could.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I think they really misjudged that one. But we'll see. We will see. And finally. Now, I told you I set the foundation. We talked about what a star Becky Lynch is. She's a mainstream star, right? She's a superstar. Everybody loves Becky Lynch. She's the man. She's a star. Well, we know Steve Austin did many millions in merchandise sales in his short run at the top. So, how's Becky Lynch's shirt merchandise doing? I bet you want to know, don't you?
I bet it's doing all right.
Well, Dino, I'm on the top rope. I'm on the top rope. I've positioned my arm above my head, and I'm coming down on you.
Oh, geez.
Becky's merch picked up with her surge as the man. There's no question about that. But her shirt merchandise does, and I quote, okay. So her t-shirt merchandise does okay? Is that what a top guy does? A top girl? The man? A mainstream star with Conor McGregor? Her merchandise is okay? What? See,
I wonder where she is compared to
elbow drop that you're not kicking out of because that's a fact.
Well, he had some facts too, but I'll let that go. I wonder how hers compares to the rest of the women, or yeah, actually to Ronda's. I'd like to see those two head to head in just t-shirts. Maybe see how that is for next week, possibly.
We could possibly do that.
That's why possibly do that. I said possibly. I said possibly. I'd like to know.
I think it would be interesting. But forget Ronda, because if she is, it's not gender based. If she is the man, if she's the star of the show, then we need to compare her to AJ Styles, right? Wouldn't that make sense? We need to compare her to the sales that Roman Reigns and John Cena had. We need to compare her to what everybody who's a top guy in the company is doing, right? Wouldn't that be fair? Not Ronda Rousey, but everybody. It's not gender-based. If she's the man, then we compare her to everybody else. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Okay, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I would like to know exact numbers. Normally they come out with the stats for the end of the year, don't they?
They come out with combined merch sale numbers, which merchandise sale was down last quarter. But there's an overall roll-up. You're not going to know, what Becky Lynch did, what X person did, etc. That's the inside scoop, partner, that you're only going to get here, right here, on the Oh You Didn't Know Wrestling Show.
Alrighty. Well, I'm tired. Where can we find you on Twitter? I need to go to bed.
At the Brad Shepard. SHEPARD. Yeah, and that's how you can find me on Twitter. That's what I do. I do Twitter. That's what I do. And I have a lot of good opinions, and I have a lot of opinions that make people mad. But I think I'm a good follow. I really do. I think you're going to love it. Maybe you'll hate it, but who really cares? I'm not going to stop. I'm going to do what I want to do on Twitter. And frankly, a lot of that is going to be me putting myself over.
Yes, he is also humble.
I'm the most humble. Yeah. I'm the humblest.
This is true. You can find me at John Fisher TV on Twitter. That's at Fisher without a C. Remember, if you want to donate to any children in need, St. Jude is always there. Donate to St. Jude. Find them on Twitter on their website. And you can imagine, depending on the amount, it does go towards your taxes. I hate to use that as an excuse, but damn it, people suck. I hate to admit it. Is there anything else you want to say before we ride off? Should we say now, are we recording on Christmas and New Year's?
Well, we have to give the people what they want.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. I'm busy. We will. I'm very busy.
Yeah, I bet you are. You've already explained it. You're very busy with the fingertips.
My
bowling ball. Yeah.
My 196 average can't keep itself. Is there anything else before we go? You didn't really say anything.
I like your idea of donating to a charity. Obviously, if you can afford to do that, I think we get wrapped up sometimes in Christmas being all about showing how we love our family and friends by buying them expensive gifts. And so being able to do something nice in the spirit of Christmas, like giving to St. Jude or a charity of your choosing, is a really cool thing to do too.
Yes, yeah, please do. It takes $2.7 million to run St. Jude for one day, because no patient or parent pays a penny if they have to be treated by any of them. We will see you all next week, folks. Take care. And if you see Brad in person, trip him. He's tall. It's easier. We'll see you next time.